Hello. Yeah, sorry, was not expecting that. I was just getting my bits together. There's a raid, I think. Thank you so much for the raid. Mahjong Woods. Interesting. And hi, Dan and Milo. Right. It is hot as, well, hot as lots of things. Hot as hell ass. It's hot. So I was going to do something, but my brain is like oozing out my ears. Hi, Mr. Corners. Hi, Lady McGree. It's fine, Dan. I came back. My laptop didn't tell me there was a raid. My streaming PC did. We are gonna do some power wash because thanks to Jesse, we got the DLC for Alice. So we are gonna pretend that the water is real, that it is cool and calming, and not at all, brain melting. Is there another seasonal special? No, it's still Santa's Workshop, which that is a really odd picture to choose, I have to say. So out of all of the DLCs, we purchased all but the SpongeBob one, which we got from Square Enix. I have to mention that, which is fine. But they didn't put this last one up, and I didn't get the opportunity to sort of promo the last ones, but we're gonna play it anyway because we love this game. So yeah. Yeah, sticking to everything, and I've already had like a cold shower and mainlined several ice pops, and I've got 2 fans blowing on me, but yeah, it is redonkulously warm. So we are starting Alice's adventures in PowerWash Land. Embark on a wonderfully wonky journey through Wonderland, clearing up after all the messes Alice made along the way. So there are achievements associated with this one. There are 10 of them. So we've got, apparently this is a 2-stream jobby, thanks to Jessie for letting me know about that one. In the Wonderland entrance hall, attempt to climb out of the rabbit hole using a ladder. So we're going to start with that. Aha! The fix-it with a portable spittle gun, and not a moment too soon. Hurry, hurry. An awful child, of which there can be no doubt, has besieged us. Not only did she eat and drink that which wasn't hers, but then she cried herself a river with which to make her escape. She has besmirched both the reputation of wonderful children the world over, and the walls of our once great hall. I'm already far too late to explain it much more, but we'd very much appreciate you getting to it. The sooner it can be done, the sooner we can forget it ever happened in the first place. That's got to be the White Rabbit. It's at the start. I imagine that the hole is at the start. So yeah, we are doing a few hours of power wash. Whoa, that is very pink. Okay. There we go. Really must be getting home. Attempt to climb out of the rabbit hole with a ladder. Cool. Oh yeah, and we got our thingy. Welcome to our great hole. I hope we can trust you to behave more reasonably than that child Alice. Alright, I'm just moving the thingamajigs out the way. Hey, Horror Acolyte! Hello, everyone. A more awful creature you couldn't hope to find without adding whiskers, sharp claws, and calling it, what, a jabberwock? Sniffle snaffle. Time's come, the walrus said, to talk of many things. No, I can't even say it. Of shoes and ships and sailing wax, of cabbages and kings. Why the sea is boiling hot and where the pigs have wings. That is the one particular bit that I remember from Alice. I do own a very nice special edition of the stories. I also had an illustrated edition somewhere, but I think that might be in the nibbling pile. Anyway. You wouldn't want to clean up after the Jabberwock. Snicker snack. Vorpal Blade went. One of my friends did an entire recitation of the Jabberwock passage in a beautiful Scottish accent. I myself would need the passage to be able to quote it to any degree of, usefulness. There's a tiny, tiny door there. And also, I don't know, do I want to be fair, I usually use the yellow one, unless there's some high places. I think I cleaned most of the aquarium with the triple one, which may or may not have been advisable. But yes, Alice, I have a friend who really is a fan of Alice. She had an Alice-themed birthday party one year. That was a while ago. I think that was when one of my friends got engaged. There was a bouncy castle and everything. It was also when I was doing my whole gluten-free, dairy-free thing to see if it would help my eczema. It didn't. I made the most god-awful scones that were gluten-free and dairy-free and fell apart because I didn't realise you had to have a binding agent in them. So that was a fun disaster. You like American McGee's Alice. Would that be the one of the video games? Yeah, cool. Yeah, I mean, I played through the Alice in Wonderland game with a friend, as in he played it, I watched, because at the time I wasn't really a big fan of platformers and fighting thingies. I could probably manage that game now, but it would only be if they did a modern platform version of it. I wouldn't want to go back to the original. But yeah, that was quite traumatic, as I remember American McGee's Alice. There was some, serious abuse going on in an orphanage or something, whereas, Alice, the original is a little clunky, yeah. Whereas Alice and her cat Dinah, lived in a nice English, countryside home, a la sort of Downton Abbey-esque, and, was very much loved by her father, so. Alice Madness Returns, yeah, it is on EA, which is part of Game Pass, I guess, so you could, maybe I should, keep on hitting the wrong button. It's always when I get back to this game, it's like, I got the wrong button. But yeah, no, I was always a big fan of Alice, the stories. I remember reading them when I was a kid. The word means exactly what I say it means, nothing more, nothing less. I'm often quoting from it. Which is not quite the exact quote, I have to say. I did look it up. Yeah, I believe, I can't remember whether it was Humpty Dumpty or the Cheshire Cat. The Caterpillar. I think it might have been Humpty Dumpty. The 360 disc came with the original game. Yeah, I mean, even 360 at this point is a bit clunky for me. But, I have experienced the game. It was good. But yeah, big fan of Lewis Carroll. Had, illustrated versions of Alice and Alice Through the Looking Glass, and I think I might have. I don't know whether it's on my shelf or in a box, because I kind of ran out of space, as always, for stuff. What I need to do is convert some of my DVD wall into a bookcase, You know what? I mean, I could just stand on the bloody step stool instead of jumping up and down like a wallaby. There we go. So I think it's probably the bottom. I can't crouch low enough to see underneath. There we go. Also, whale cache. Sorry, another purple name came in, and I missed it specifically. But yes, hello, welcome in. We are talking all things Alice. But yeah, I have a friend who's a big fan. Yeah, as I said, I really enjoyed the books. I owned a couple of copies of, I think I have the complete works of Lewis Carroll, along with possibly the complete works of the dude that wrote Wind in the Willows. Which also enjoyed that when I was a kid. I still have the plates my grandma painted me of Toad and the other characters. Toad of Toad Hall. I just realised that I'm actually on the ceiling. It feels like I'm on the ceiling. Though, you know, all the ceilings seem to be walls at this point. Team Purple is slowly merging into a singularity. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Purple is such a great colour, but because some people's usernames are the same length, it also then becomes even harder to determine if I'm not paying all the attention. Sometimes I'm like, oh, someone new has entered the fight type thing. Hey, Subterfuge. Yes. I don't know whether, because obviously the 360 stores all shut down now, so I don't know how that would work. I don't know how that works with the BC games. I sort of decided a little while ago that, you know, aside from the one point and click that I do have to finish, that I'm pretty much done with 360 games. There are a couple I may at some point finish. Bioshock Infinite being one of them. But the 360 just got a wee bit too clunky, and I've got so used to the Xbox One nice new shiny interface. Right, the candelabra is missing something somewhere. There we go. It's backwards compatible. Yeah, I know, but some people have said that there are some issues with, you know, like, I think Bioshock Infinite being an example, it didn't always register that you had the DLC when you owned it. So I don't know if there's going to be any residual issues with that. I have everything downloaded. I checked last week for stuff that I still haven't finished. It's not backwards compatible, but yeah, I don't know. It may or may not have a problem. So, do you know what this Alice did? I mean, she painted the roses red. She avoided getting her head cut off. She ate and drank a lot of stuff that she probably shouldn't have because she got all bug or all small. I'll tell you! First, she wafted around saying how ridiculous it was to have a room filled with different sized doors. Does she not realise how ridiculous it is to call something ridiculous before even taking the time to ask someone, is this in fact ridiculous? Willy Wonka. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen many interpretations of Alice. Many interpretations. The original story still has a soft spot. Mainly just because I remember so much of it, considering I have not read it for 30 odd years, maybe? I'm trying to do stuff as I go along, because otherwise I'm gonna have to come back at bits. But yeah, anyway, so, you know, mileage may vary with PC stuff. Hopefully it all works, but as I said, I pretty much just gave up on finishing anything 360, except for my point and clicks, just because, you know, it's painful going back. I managed to finish off my Sherlock Holmes game that I had one achievement that I swear the game just glitched on me. And the 2, possibly 3 achievements, including a speed run of Grey Matter. And now I just need to finish a 100% run and get some more endings on the Anna Extended Edition. But I don't really want to. Have I ever read a comic called Fables? You mean the same Fables that the Telltale game, A Wolf Among Us. Wolf Among Us? I think that's what it was called, was based on. I own them. I have not read them. I did do a deep dive into that because I really enjoyed A Wolf Among Us, and therefore wanted to read up more on the comic, to the point which I think I purchased digitally, like compendium something or other, which I've got somewhere. I think it was maybe a Humble Bundle or something. Same with the Walking Dead comic. It's like I think I have like a large portion of it, but I have not specifically read anymore. I just, you know, like owning all the things. Then just forget to actually, you know, finish the deep dive part. It's how my hyperactivity manifests. But yes, I am familiar with it. Is there an interpretation of Alice in there as well? Or something else? I really wish there had been more graphic novels. Yeah. I really enjoyed The Wolf Among Us. I'm really happily waiting for the sequel. You know, even though they got bought out and everything, I'm really hoping that they do eventually bring that game to fruition. Um, I mean, I don't think Alice was in the game. It was focused a lot around the Big Bad Wolf and Red Riding Hood. I don't remember Alice being in it. That's not to say that she's not in the comics or that I'm just misremembering. So we're possibly, I think Tweedledum and Tweedledee were in it. Is they're from Alice. But I don't think necessarily Alice herself was. She may have been, I might just be forgetting. But at some point, you know, it's one of those things. It's on my list of things that I want to read. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like the TV series for The Walking Dead starts off along with the comics and then completely, you know, diverges from it. I I'm going to say I broke up with the TV series because I was watching it, even though I hate zombies, and I was enjoying it. And then there was the episode with the heads on the spikes, and that shattered me. So I kind of, stopped watching it. So there's, also when What's His Face left, it just then seemed to get a little bit. And then there was one episode, I couldn't even tell you what time period it was set in. I think, to be fair, I think the reason I possibly started watching The Walking Dead with something to do with Hideo Kojima and him putting, what's his face, really bad with names, which doesn't help. The guy that plays, one of the main characters in Walking Dead, Norman Reedus. There we go. He has an odd name, so I was going to vaguely remember it at some point. Norman Reedus. He was in a thing, and I was like, oh, Norman Reedus. Should I know this person? And then I think that's the way around that it happened. He was in that game that Hideo Kojima did, that you were traveling as like a courier of something or other. I never played it. Death Stranding. Thanks, Alkash. You always remember the names of games. Bless you. You're like a much better AI. But yeah, and it wasn't bad. There was definitely a couple of episodes I could have done without seeing. I knew that they'd probably be in there because I'd played the games first. You've played the game, it helps. I mean, I've played a lot of games. Damned if I can remember the names of them. For instance, could there be a perfectly good reason why this place has so many differently sized doors? I mean, differently sized people, but why would one not, make a door at the size of the biggest person and make sure there's a door handle further down? And that's also an option. Perhaps the animals who use the door also have different sizes. That's what I just said. I mean, I play a lot of games and I can't remember their names. Inevitably I'll be in a stream going, oh yes, that game with the thing that I played with the thing. Perhaps every Sunday all of those animals converge here for tea and conversation. Ah, like the Mad Hatter's tea party. Right, how are we doing? Doing quite well, actually. Oh, no, there's a column that didn't quite get, there we go. On the window. And how would one expect a walrus to use the door designed for a dormouse? Utterly ridiculous. I don't know if I want to play Death Stranding. I just, knew it had Norman Reedus in, which then, prompted. I think I'm fairly certain that I'd played the games without having watched the Walking Dead TV series, and I really like Clementine. Clementine being a fruit. But I don't, because I remember playing those and there was definitely a bit in there that I also didn't like. I have definitely a squick for any kind of cannibalism. Not a big fan of Hannibal Lecter. Delicatessen definitely gave me nightmares. And I watched it in French as well, which didn't help. So yeah, there's definitely a couple of episodes in The Walking Dead that I could have done without watching, including, but I knew that would kind of probably happen because it happened in the game. Not really a spoiler, the damn thing's been out for, over 10 years now. And that's not really a spoiler. But yeah, so I really wasn't a fan of that bit. But I was enjoying the game, and then, it just got a little too epic and a little too, long-winded, and then it did a nasty with some of my favourite characters twice, and, fool me once, shame on me, but fool me, whatever. Anyway, I then really couldn't go on, and I didn't watch the final season. I have watched some of the spin-off stuff, but again, I really was just a fan of the video game. The Telltale Walking Dead was, I liked that interpretation. And the same, I like the Telltale game, except for Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones was arse-numbingly boring, and I think I played it twice because there was a stack. The Game of Thrones Telltale did not in any way yeah. I love the Borderlands ones, but I've never played a Borderlands game. Made me want to play a Borderlands game, which I realise I can't really do because they're like first-person shooters, but yeah. The Walking Dead has the biggest shift in terms of quality. Yeah, they got a big... like, yeah, if you watch the first season, it's like, whoa, this is like, you know, standard def, and then it goes into 4K. I think because it was a success, such a success, they got a bigger budget. Also, hi, Nikki. We are talking, well, we were talking Alice, because obviously Alice, the game, we're playing PowerWash Alice levels, and then we got on to Fables and The Walking Dead, because Telltale. So, if you wanted to catch up, that's where we are. Also, I don't like cannibalism. You know, that's definitely my line that I draw. I really do not like to consume any media that involves cannibalism. And that was not meant to be a pun, but it ended up being slightly punny. Mainly because I'm highly empathetic and I feel what is described in things. Another reason why I didn't enjoy the history module entitled Medicine Through Time when they were talking about trepanning and, you know, various things, because I feel it. So, yeah, that's why that is a line I draw. We have covered American McGee's Alice. I was originally talking about the original, you know, the Lewis Carroll, the books, of which I still have a very nice copy. Cannibalism is frowned on in most societies, but it does tend to be used in media as a dramatic, you know, plot point. I have seen Silence of the Lambs. It doesn't do it in quite the same way. Hannibal Lecter doesn't do it in quite the same way as it was done in, like, Delicatessen and Walking Dead. There is a difference between, you know, I'm eating the brains of my enemies scrambled like eggs for breakfast, to, you know, I'm forcing other people to eat people parts without their knowledge. I think there's a consent thing in there. But also, the brain thing didn't bother me as much. But then I did watch it a while ago, so I may not have actually finished it. With some fava beans and a nice Chianti, exactly. I did not watch the Hannibal Lecter TV series. You know, I do, yeah. So basically, that's my horror squick. Is that I just mainlined 4 seasons of The Boys, which had some of the most bloody, gory scenes in TV history. And aside from a couple of winces, didn't bother me too much. Ooh, you got streak! Yay! I mean, it's hot enough. I don't blame you. Poor Ray Liotta. The sequel movie has a horrible... Right. Yeah, cool. Well, then I will definitely know to avoid that. Thank you, Olkush, for the warning. But yeah, I think I watched Silence of the Lambs. I don't know. I watched a lot of stuff at university. Some of it vaguely drunk. I also watched a lot of stuff when I was watched more stuff when I was a teenager than I did when I was a kid. I remember watching The Cube. I would say it was a horror movie. I was completely piss-faced at that point, and it was not an enjoyable film. There was a lot of ick in it. Kind of like, I think it's one of the Resident Evil film adaptations, something with lasers. I mean, it was a good movie. It was creepy as hell. The problem I had was just the people getting sliced into parts by the lasers. Yes, I did very much avoid Santa Clara Diet. I had to actually, like, thumbs down it on Netflix so it would stop showing me the damn image. Yeah. 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 Hallway Laser Grid, that Resident Evil. Thanks. Yeah, I don't think I've actually seen the entire film of Resident Evil. I've just seen that part enough time, you know. And then you start getting into like the Jigsaw movies, and then you start getting the stuff that I really don't like. Particularly, I'm not a big fan of body horror. Um, you know, give me something like, you know, Blair Witch or whatever that just made me laugh the entire time, or something like tense like Get Out. That was a really good movie. Um, Creepy as fuck, but a really good movie. Um, oh, you went. Hi. Oh, also hi, Ima. You went into it thinking it was a new diet you needed to try. I thankfully twigged from the pictures that maybe I would not enjoy it, and managed to avoid watching a trailer, which I think was probably a very good decision. Um, yeah. But yeah, the cube. No, it was good, but it did have some scenes of people getting chopped into pieces by lasers. And then there was the whole thing at the end. I mean, this movie we're talking is like, you know, 25 plus years. Um, but yeah. The ending bothered me. um, but yeah, kittens! AI generated fruit that turns into kitchens. What the actual? Also, I've realised that this hallway's been getting progressively smaller as I've been going along, and I hadn't realised until I'm like, oh shit, I got a duck to fit through the door here. Furthermore, Alice proceeded to eat and drink our wares without the least consideration for that purpose. Oh, kittens. Sorry. Oh, fruit that turns into kittens. Ew. That's just weird. That's weird. I mean, fruit that turns into kitchens would also be weird. I was, for some reason, that made me think of that game you were playing with the spy cameras, with the AI art. There's a bunch of grapes, and then the grapes looked up and they were kittens. Oh. Yeah, AI makes me uncomfortable. Have you seen the gymnastics video one? Where the girl basically turns into a bunch of legs. Not good. That trim is done. That trim is done. That trim is not done. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some stuff that I have to check with a friend, you know, is this eating people? Because I just really can't deal with eating people. There was like a whole like I don't know whether it was a film or some film or a TV series about a restaurant, and I was like, is this comedy or is this eating people? Because there's one I can do and one I can't do. And one I don't understand. Neither I understand, I guess, but definitely I'm gonna have to duck. To go through that door. That's new. Yeah, the bear. Yeah. I think there was the bear, but there was also something else because I swear it was people. It was on TikTok. Oh, the bear is about eating people. Great. Well, I will avoid that. It keeps on showing up on my TV thing, and I'm running out of stuff to watch. I'm now watching New Amsterdam because I accidentally clicked on it, and it's a medical drama, and I like medical dramas. It's also got Freema Grayman, the one that played Martha in Doctor Who. I have horribly butchered her name, but I don't actually know how to pronounce it. Um, YouTube documentaries. I do not like documentaries. I'm not a documentary person. I mean, I have watched many documentaries. Yeah, Freema. Yeah, that. I still don't know how to pronounce it, Olkesh. um, but yes, that is her. Yeah, watching New Amsterdam. Again, it was an accidental click, and I was like, you know what? I like medical dramas. We'll watch this. Surprisingly, I can watch medical dramas. That's not a problem, though they sometimes do make me feel more than I feel like I should be feeling. um, oh, you're kidding. It's a comedy about running a kitchen. Okay, cool. Well, there was something that I swear was about eating people. It was on TikTok for a little while as well. Um, I've watched all the boys. I loved it. I'm like, this has to be a parody because I've seen no boobs and two penises already, and I'm in the first episode. So that's my measure. If it's got, you know, penises in, then they're not taking themselves seriously. Especially if there's no boobs. I think there was boobs until like season 3 or something. It was a movie, Havor, but I just can't remember what it was, and I don't really want to remember what it was. Um, but I swear it was people. And I also watched Gen V, which is a spin-off of From the Boys, which made the final episode make a little bit more sense, because a couple of the characters were from there. Um, and I'm eagerly awaiting more boys, even though I know it literally just brought out season 4, and I'm gonna have to wait till like 2026 or something. Um, I respect the writer's strike, but my inner patience, which doesn't exist, doesn't. I don't have any patience. Doctor Who is getting another spin-off, yeah, with Tovey, what's his face, who played the werewolf in not the werewolf, but he was in the werewolf episode of Sherlock. Russell Tovey. Is it Russell Tovey? He was also in he was Alonzo because the doctor got to go Alonzo. He was Alonzo with it. He had the cute ears that do the little flippy turn thing. Um, you see, I only remember names when I've literally been looking at them, and I saw a TikTok about the Doctor Who spin-off. To be fair, it was mostly making fun of the writer guy and saying that he's run out of inspiration. It's like, yeah, we all want the spin-off of the Victorian people, the Victorian people with the lizard lady and her wife, and the butler, the potato butler. Torchwood sans Jack. Yeah, I'll take Torchwood back as long as it doesn't have John Barrowman in. You know, I do not respect his actions, so yeah. But yeah, if Gwen Cooper was in charge of Torchwood, hells yeah, I would have that back. But I think Torchwood sort of ended with those American 4-part special things. Um, so yeah, they'd have to reboot it with new people, I guess, or something. I don't really know. Um, Also, I suppose I should have a look. There's supposedly new cleaning stuff, new outfits. Oh, it'll be in the shop. Uh, Gloves. We should definitely. Oh, there's a research edition gloves. I mean, you know what? Why don't we just buy all of the stuff in the shop, because we have like redonkulous amounts of money. Okay. The button makes the noise, but if you don't press it in the right place, it doesn't actually buy it. That's a fun bug. Oh, I missed one. Okay, we own everything and it only cost us $5,000. Cleaning liquids. We own all the equipment. Why? Power washers. We own all those. Isn't that like a skins? Aha, there we go. We started off with 17 and a bit. And now we have 5. But we own everything. Right. Now I've done that. Now I can skin my we put the skin. Keep on pressing the wrong button. So we're gonna wear the Alice outfit and the Alice gloves. How do we skin this? How do we put the skin on it? Anyone know how you skin it? Oh, I've put it in thingy mode. There we go. Don't like thingy mode. Doesn't seem to have a thing for skinning it. Oh well. Well, we're wearing the Alice outfit now. But yes. Anyway, what were we talking about before I got distracted by buying everything in the shop? They're doing a Doctor Who spin-off. Yes. I mean, I'll watch it. I honestly, I have been binging so many series lately that, you know, I'm running out of stuff that I have access to. You know, though I still have a list of things people kept on going, oh, you should definitely watch that, which of course makes me immediately not want to watch it. You know, eventually I'll probably end up watching the final season of The Walking Dead just because I have run out of other stuff. And unfortunately, the stuff that I usually watch is not doing its job. Because I'm like, I've seen this before. You know, I know all this. I need to watch something new. But something new that's not horrifying. Don't ask why I was watching The Boys then, because that was just because someone recommended it. Anyway, how is everyone doing? It's Tuesday, it's like redonkulously hot in the UK. Got up to like 30 something today. Centigrade, obviously. Which is hot for us because it gets that temperature inside because we don't have aircon. But yeah, anyone watching anything without, you know, edible humans that they think I would like, or playing anything good? I did want to play Nobody Wants to Die, which was the other option for today, and then I was like, no, I want to PowerWash stuff. So that might be Thursday's game. There's a new one that came out that was advertised at the Xbox showcase at the when the E3 used to be, and I was like, no, it wasn't on the Xbox showcase. It was on one of the other showcases. But anyway, it looked fun. So I'm eager to try that out. I just didn't have the brain for it today, considering it's been melting out my ears. And I swear I've eaten like an entire packet of ice pops. It's just so damn nice. I have also remembered to hydrate because, you know, it would be kind of stupid not to. I have not been doing well on the eating front. I've not really had an appetite. I suppose that's partially good, but it's also annoying. Anyway. Conversation died. Come back, peoples. All is forgiven. Or please forgive me if I said something stupid. Yeah, I mean, at some point, you know, maybe watching stuff on YouTube. It's just, I don't know. It always requires more attention span than for documentaries and stuff that I'm willing to give. I like my media to be sort of, you know, consumable whilst I'm also doing other stuff. Aww, Jessie! Is all I can say. Also, hi. You've been trying to play Forza Horizon 4 to get some of the achievements with the disappear. Aha! Did you get the thing where you got like the message with the downloadable content or something? Is that because they're turning off the servers for Forza Horizon 4? This is why I always used to do the online in games first. Though I did do that for all of my like 360 games. I have not done it as much for my One stuff, and I should really at some point figure out if there's anything online that needs sorting just in case servers go down. I mean, I'm hoping you're joking, so I'm taking it as read that you wouldn't desert me. Oh, I start materials. Oh, I couldn't finish that. I started it, but I read the books, and it annoyed me because it wasn't enough true to the books. Which, you know me. And Penny Dreadful. I think I watched a couple of episodes of Penny Dreadful. That's one I could go back to, I suppose. They're delisting. Aha! Well, that is very good planning on your part, getting that sorted. Yeah, I should probably go back to have a look what online stuff I've still got. I've got one Escape Academy. It's not technically online, but it's the 50 games one. I should probably do that at some point. And I think I've got a couple of Watch Dogs ones left. Watch Dogs 2 maybe? Possibly. I don't think I've got any of the Watch Dog 1. That is a really interesting mushroom. But yes. Anyway, this is chill. It's sort of making me feel cooler. I think I may have watched a little bit of Penny Dreadful, I'm not sure. Is City of Angels a spin-off, or is that just the name of the series? Perhaps when something important happens, we all converge here to decide upon a decision. And what else do you decide upon? Ah, it's a spin-off. Okay, fair enough. I think I only watched a couple of episodes of the first one, so I should probably track that one down then. Imagine how difficult it will be for a mouse with a good idea to hear above a walrus. To be heard above a walrus. But what if the small animals consumed the eat me cake and the larger animals consumed the drink me potion until everyone was the same size? Well, that is extremely egalitarian of you. I like that. You watched all of the original. Cool. I think, as I said, I think I watched maybe a couple of episodes. I don't know. It may also have been something else that I'm thinking of. Victorian setting. Would we reach a fair decision then? Maybe yes, but did Alice consider that before scoffing the lot? Is it got a supernatural element to it? Or am I mixing it up with something else? Poker face. Is that the Russian one? Or the Russian lady? I think that comes up on my list as well, but... Or is that the one with like Groundhog Day-esque thing that reminded me a little bit of, Oh, Orphan Black. It has supernatural stuff. Cool. Well, I might see if I can track down which streaming service Penny Dreadful's on, and queue that up. I like supernatural stuff. So like a good detective-y, crimey one. I'd also settle for anything cozy. There's not enough cozy TV. In fact, I don't... Is there any cozy TV? Anyone has any cozy TV recommendations? I suppose Bluey is cozy TV, though it is technically a kid's show, I suppose. Poker Face is pretty good, but he got progressively more annoyed with the main character. I understand that. I understand that. That happened a little bit with me in Orphan Black. And again, I don't think I finished that show. The last season just annoyed me, so I stopped. Yeah, which is weird, because usually I just binge shit. I suppose Secret Diary of a Call Girl was technically cozy. There wasn't any big drama. Have I seen Hilda? No, not even heard of it. What is it? Poker Face is a murder mystery starring Natasha Lyonne. Oh, Columbo, okay. Oh, so not the one where it's a Groundhog Day-esque, someone keeps on dying and then keeps on being reborn and then dies in a different place. What one's that, then? But also, tell me more about Hilda, Lady Marguerite. And I'm so... Oh, there's more ladders in here. That's great. They're just going to be in the way. Also, there's an entire ceiling, so maybe the ladders won't be in the way. Maybe I should watch Poker Face. I don't know, usually I just sort of glum through the thumbnails and... That's Russian Doll! See, I had the Russian Doll thing. Oh! It's a cute cartoon on Netflix, young girl and a lot of trolls and magical creatures. Okay, that sounds really cute. Really cute. Cute and cool. I don't know if it's on UK Netflix, but I will definitely have a look for it. Russian Doll. Also, that's why I got it mixed up, because the main character is the same actress. But I got the Russian part right. Just not the nationality of the... maybe that came up when we were talking about Matryoshka dolls, because we know how much Dan hates Matryoshka dolls, because they're just full of themselves. Preempting your joke there, Dan, who's probably not even here and has gone walkies with Milo, I imagine. But, still a funny joke. Ah, Hilda is? Okay, cool. Well, then I will check that out. Maybe I've seen it and I'm just not recognizing the name. That's always a possibility. Yeah. So I have a few more things that I could add to my list. Mind you, I think New Amsterdam's quite a few seasons, so that should last me a couple of days. When I say I binge, I mean, you know, I put the thing on and, you know, it doesn't get stopped until, like, you know, I've got something else on. 'Cause I'm only working part-time, so The other time is like I'm binging TV and then doing something. Probably playing a game. So I do consume TV, like, you know, it only took me a week or so to get through 4 seasons of The Boys. And this is the problem, is then, you know, I get bored again. Because I've just finished binge watching a series. And then sometimes, you know, Netflix will do something odd, like starting from like season 10 of a series, and I'm like, well, I have to watch from the beginning. Can't start from season 10. Why do you not have 1 to 9? I mean, to be fair, usually it's a series that I've already got on DVD, but DVD takes effort. You know, get the bloody discs out and switch them over. Oh look, there's a ladder-shaped mark on this floor. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, I watched The Rocky as it came out. I follow some of the stars on TikTok. It's quite funny. There's also a spin-off, The Rocky Feds, which I believe was in conjunction with like season 3 or something. And there was some crossover stuff, but that only got like one. I think that only got like 1 season. It was really good though. I do like that universe. But they are very much, you know, trying to be like, you know, police aren't bad people. So it's a little bit of propaganda. But yes, Spot the Guest Star is quite funny. But yeah, I have watched a redonkulous amount of TV this last few months. Recycled set. Mm. Holt sewer. Yes, the two things that you would think were similar. Oh, and they patched battle cakes, which is cool. Very nice devs. So I should be able to do my library quest now. Not sure whether I should do another stream. So I got my achievement in Ever After Falls that I was going for, and then failed miserably at getting another one, so I think RTDL's probably done. Even though I think there's one more day left of this month. I might try again for one more. I might not as well. Depends how hot it is tomorrow. Whether I manage to sleep in the heat. Okay, 99%. I would think that most of it would be in here if I could. Aha, there got balance bit of floor. Okay, what do we got? Oh no, I missed the whole ceiling. That one up there. There we go. I think I got most of the stuff through here, though. No, I missed a door. This one. Transition strips? Oh, yeah, well that's dirty. Okay. Alright, I got most of the stuff. In the hall. Okay, I didn't get quite as much stuff as I thought I did. None of the lamps? Terrarium? Oh, to be fair, there is stuff on the top. Oh! Oh, that took a little while. Oh, there was a cat in the chair. And the cat disappeared. Interesting. I see you're done just in the nick of time. 11s are fast approaching. The walruses are already upon the door. I don't want to double it to the Duchess's kitchen. The trifle will be cold. If I don't double it. And who would want that? Now come. Come, the blasted nuisance has struck again, and there's already something else for you to do. Yeah. I didn't get to see the cat. Level complete. Go back. I'm just going to go back because I'm not quite sure. There we are. White Rabbit's house. I think what I'll do is unstick myself from myself. It's hot. And just have a quick bathroom break, and then we will do the next level. And I'll need to remember to check what the special requirements is. I like the 11-7 Carrot Lane, but yeah, just gonna have a small comfort break. Feel free to hydrate, grab a snack, etc., etc., and I'll catch you in a few minutes. Right, back. Okay, Bill the Lizard, 11-7 Carrot Lane. All right, Governor, you must be the you Jammer Flip with the thingamajig, and not a moment too soon, I'd say. There's Mr. Rabbit's place with several holes in won't have no mind being there, if you get my meaning. Unfortunately, he ain't around to tell you any more than that, as he's trying to apprehend a 20-foot girl what's disappeared into thin air. Good luck with that, I say. Anyways, you better get to it. I mean, there's a new caked in coat. Wait, no, I mean coated in cake. And then there's you with your great wet water cannon thingamabob. Bill. That was quite hard to read. But we do get some cleaners in this, if we are so inclined. Still haven't figured out to skin my thing. But that's fine. Right. White Rabbit's house. Complete all the clocks on the clock's wall first. Mind saying that White Rabbit's is mad as an ant full of angry carrots. I mean, wouldn't you be? After an hard day running near there and anywhere, he comes home, opens his door to see what? An enormous arm? Given in the elbow, that's what. Or was it a knee? Little clock with rabbit ears. It's cute. Okay, I have to say the ticking of a clock does not bother me, but I think this house, it would. Notwithstanding, if they were not all the same time, that would drive me nuts. They're not all the same time. Painting. Clock. Clock. Clock's wall. Clock. Armchair. Clock. Oh, clocks. Ooh, it's two missing. Ah, these ones didn't quite get finished. That's a big one. There we go. Right, now we can just finish washing stuff. A lurid pink. This cake. Mm. Again, I don't really think I should be power washing delicate clock mechanisms or paintings or upholstery. I feel like, you know, it doesn't mesh well with water, but... At least this is a game. No worries, have a good luck, Leaky. Maybe they're all a different time zone. Maybe time works differently, so each one of these represents the time for, you know, one of Mr. Rabbit's things. Did you think of that? At least they won't be all going off at one time. Looks like it's got eyes. It is very, very pink. I mean, it would smash crockery, it would. Cupboards have feet. Actual feet. So anyways, Right Rabbit does what any proud homemaker would do. He climbs up to the window, tutting away. But no sooner had he got up to the window than the huge Jan comes out and swats him away like he was a goat or summit. Straight into his prize-winning cucumber frame. What, there's a carrot on it? So he tries again and gets the same treatment. At that point, I volunteered at the suggestion to climb in right through the chimney. Blaming Nora, I was given the boots that just makes you forget what day it is. It's still yesterday, right? Feels like it. The rug at this point and the carpet would be soaking were this a real power washer. So if there was no way of taking back the house, there was only one thing for it. We had to make her leave by her own will. So I told my rabbit about the absolute bestest way to get someone to leave your house. What's that, he asks. So I tells him, set it on fire. Works every time. And he also then leaves you with an house. While I was preparing the lightning rod and the torches, everyone suddenly started checking whatever they could find through the windows. It was mayhem, it was. That's when Dormouse started causing cakes. What are you doing, I asks. Z says, as soon as she realises that there's more cake outside the house than inside, she'll come running. Yeah, it's definitely not a good idea to power wash someone's bed, though I do like the bed in the alcove. not obvious what's left, so we'll use the thingy thing. Drawing windows, kitchen ceiling, and writing desk drawers. Hi. I don't know a minute. Woohoo! The rabbit sins in a little boat. Right, now we'll hydrate. Oh, God. Excellent. I seem to have lost my tailored clothing again. Oh well. Well, I never. If I was looking at that house with Dodo like I am now, and he said, believe that only today that house had been ransacked by an enormous child and then set upon by a mix of assorted baked goods, rendering the inside like some kind of pointillist art exhibit. I'd say, never, you're having me on it. It's too clean, is that? Then he'd shake his head like he is now. We'd smile and laugh and tootle off, still shaking our heads and laughing and smiling, just like we is now. Okay, the caterpillar's a mushroom. Clean the cocoon last. Okay. Alright, let me ask you a question. If something is a problem and then that something gets removed, does the problem get bigger or smaller? Depends on what's underneath. My problem was a mushroom, although it only became a problem once it was picked by a wandering child, as underneath it was a nest of millipedes, and with millipedes where there's one dirty foot, there's a milli lots. Their fractious marching was a constant nuisance, so I told them my world is bigger than this, and blew bubbles to rehouse them yonder. Now my problem has become the realization that the world is indeed bigger than this. So I've rolled myself into my cocoon, where I shall remain until both my logic and my home are flawless. It's already taken quite some time. Assuming this takes around an hour, we'll make this the last one. Cocoon is there. Okay. To work, I'd like to turn my thoughts through a paradox. Run my thoughts through a paradox that's been troubling me. Has this been troubling you too? It's a metaphor on my metamorphosis. Metamorphosis, if you will. A metaphor Simply put, who am I? Whoa, giant Cheshire Cat. I think the Cheshire Cat might be in all the levels. I just wasn't really paying as much attention as perhaps I should have. Tricky knowing which bit's the natural colour. There's a rather lurid pink here, but we did have to clean pink off the last place, so... It will contrast nicely with the orange. In my original state, I was simply a caterpillar. Of that there could be no doubt. No, it was self-evident. I think, therefore, I am. But if I'm now in my cocoon, I still think the same, but I am not the same. I am liquid. And now I've sort of got I'm shiny from Moana with the crab. Really need to block that phrase. Fairy bots on it, right. What do I remember? There we go. Ugh. No, they shouldn't even come in until they come up with whatever the next phrase is, and then I'll block that. Ad nauseum, ad nauseum. Certainly psychedelic colours. Yeah, there was a Cheshire Cat in the chair in the first one, but I came blazing in like a bull in the china shop, so they had no chance of sort of seeing it if it disappears when you approach. I think I saw something on the Future Lab stream with that, but I wasn't paying enough attention. But there may have been one on the last one as well, but I didn't see. Shoes. Um, to elaborate. The caterpillar wraps itself inside a cocoon. It does not simply change from a caterpillar into a butterfly. Its head does not simply grow back, more refined, replete with its long, elongated tongue. Its body does not shrink, grow hairy, and sprout wings. Process is far more singular than that. actually gone into how a caterpillar turns into a butterfly, but I mean, it's from the whole mentioning liquid state. It sounds like in the cocoon, it sort of liquefies and reforms, which is absolutely freaking fascinating. I may have I mean, I have seen parts of documentaries. My dad watches them, so when the TV's on, I tend to watch whatever's on. It's a bad, not habit, but it's obviously it's my hyperfocus taking over. That's why I like to control everything that I'm getting input wise. Because if I'm in control of my environment, then I control what is going to distract my head focus. Okay, that's the cocoon. Lovely mushroom colour, purple. You see, whilst you've been working, I have completely deconstructed myself. I'm now a liquid, which simultaneously remembers both what it was to be a caterpillar and what it is to be a butterfly. Nature is so freaking clever, isn't it? Should really be using the ladders and, you know, the climbing frame scaffolding thing, but this is so much more fun. Be careful now, I'm on the limb that has the cocoon, so don't spray down too much. It's a bit like this bit is a bit like those. I keep on mentioning them. Those wax drawings you used to do as a kid, where you put the coloured on and then you scrape off the black. That's what PowerWash feels like. The sound of your work is so soothing. It is indeed. That's why we do it. I'm feeling altogether myself once again. More myself. Wouldn't it be wonderful if everyone had a cocoon in which to pop whenever the world got a little too much? Yes, that would be awesome. I'm sure that Alice could do with one more development. I wonder where she's got to. There's the tea party. And then the Red Queen. And the Queens. feel a wee bit cooler now. I think this is psychosomatically working. Because it is not, in fact, any cooler. I love how physics doesn't quite work the same. I'm clinging to the side of a giant mushroom. And that is good. Exactly. Bridge posts. See, caterpillar cocoon, we're leaving. Fungus platforms. Mushroom cap rim. I need that giant. Okay, so lounge chair cushion. Oh, one on the top. Okay. And wooden decorations. Okay, so caterpillar cocoon. The only thing left. Ah, bloody hell. Okay, advice from a caterpillar. Complete the caterpillar mushroom job. And we did the cocoon last. Another bloop, please. Thank you very much. Metamorphosis. Clean the cocoon last. That was slightly bigger than I thought it was going to be, but that's fine. It's only 10 past 11. And we all finish here. We've got 2 left. Not a speck of millipede footfalls to be found. How wonderful. I stand, emerge from my chrysalis atop the mushroom in a glorious sunny spot. My wings sprouted. You should see them. They look finer than a haberdasher's curtains. And just in time, too, if I'm not mistaken. It appears to be exactly the moment to discover how much bigger the world really is. So, we've got the Mad Tea Party and the Queen of Hearts court job. Balance the strawberry on the topmost cake stand. And then roll the pink croquet ball onto the croquet finish heart. Don't like rolling balls and these things. But yes, we've done, wow, a good portion of that. They're now available in free play. We're basically nearly 100% done. All the bonus jobs for the Muckingham files are complete. So we'll be waiting for the next content update after we finish this. There's one more stream in it, which we will save probably for another hot day. I'm sure they'll come. But for now, I will be... Oh, shit. I think there's a co-stream at some point. I'm not sure which day we're on. I'll have to look at my spreadsheet. But there's definitely a Thursday stream. What type of stream that is, I don't know. But, things will happen at some point. Time has no meaning. We may have a Wednesday co-stream. I don't know if it's that this week. I will figure it out. I will talk to Jessie and we'll see where we're at. But definitely a Thursday stream of some sort, and weekend streams are on. But we're getting into August already. I don't know where the year's going. Thank you very much for the raid at the beginning of the stream. Thank you everyone for staying. Thanks for the multitude of discussions. I'm going to have to look up Hilda now and see if I can find Penny Dreadful and stuff. If you have any more suggestions, feel free to join the Discord. And there is a channel, or just drop it in general, depending on, what the discussion is going for. So yeah, thanks all. I've been Jo, otherwise known as Angel SK. All this water has gone straight to my bladder, so I'm gonna run. Love you all. Catch you later. Bye.